Ladies and gentlemen, it's that time again. From the deepest jungles to the outmost reaches of space and beyond the veils of death itself, the Bald and Bonkers boys are back for another episode. It's no secret that you won't know what will happen next, but Dakota Franson and Chris Mole promise that all bets are off. Viewer discretion and straitjackets advised. These two idiots live up to the name.
That. I'll be with you shortly. Something's going on here with my spectacles. I can't see.
Well, that's kind of the purpose of you needing glasses in the first place, eh?
What's that, young man? What's that? I can't quite hear you.
I know, you're old.
Just think, one day Jesus you will Christ. Be my age, but I'll be older than you. What's happening? What's happening?
I don't know.
Did your trailer play?
What is
play for me?
What are you? What the fuck you just said to me, boy?
I seen the elephants. Know that Everton played fine for me.
I don't know why, and it's not even letting me do the chat from the platform.
Welcome, John Morris, Emerald Isles Paranormal. Finally, you two are back on. Good to see you both.
We were here last week. What are you talking about? Oh wait, I forgot. YouTube took down last Sunday's episode.
What do you mean?
You know what I mean. I told you when it happened.
No.
Because we got to talking about the GB jab and that specific doctor
I saw
in Orlando. Yeah.
Jibby jab.
We had an episode taken down on YouTube. But here's the weird part. It's only on the main company channel that it was taken down on. Everywhere else.
Jenny was away to a secret filming location.
Whatever your girl does with her OnlyFans is her business.
Look, Jenny was away to a beautiful.
I'm sorry, Jenny. I'm sorry.
Beautiful. I'll tell you something. Jenny was away to a fantastic place. Jenny, am I allowed to tell you what the place was called? I'm allowed to say what it's called.
Didn't you already? I think you said it last week on the Forbidden episode.
Oh my God! Did you talk about the needles? I have now.
Whoa!
I just mentioned it.
I go to mention OnlyFans and she's mentioning needles. This is going to be a very raunchy show. How more episodes have been taken down?
No, she means we're talking about COVID. She means we're talking about
COVID. Oh, no, actually, Jenny, what we talked about was a specific doctor named Christina Northrup, who was physically named by President Biden as a disinformation agent in regards to COVID-19.
Don't worry, Jenny. I never mentioned the location you were at last week.
Did.
Don't worry about it.
I think he did.
No, I didn't. I just said you were away at
I think he did, but I can't remember if we were filming.
I never mentioned the location.
I never mentioned it. No, I think you did.
I never mentioned it. I know if I
think you did.
You need to watch it, and I've watched it all, and I never mentioned it, so it's fine. Note the name. I never mentioned the name. I said you were away to a haunted Irish castle. That's what I said. But I never said the name of the castle. To the life of me, I couldn't pronounce it.
For that, no, that would be very true. That would be very true. I will give you that you would not actually be able to pronounce it.
He's only trying to wind you up, Jenny. You know.
Oh,
you were away too, weren't you? No, you weren't away, were you? You here last weekend?
I was here last weekend.
That's right, you were. You were. Just the dementia started there.
I was slightly out of it because I got a bit of a head cold from when I got back from Orlando.
Aye. See, I think he's been kissing the gators. He's been clapping the gators.
Oh God, you just had to bring that up.
What?
You and your bestiality fantasies.
Look, it's no matter fault in Scotland if you say clap an animal, it means scratch their ears or fondle them. I've asked multiple people about this. I've asked loads of people about this. And every single person in my village, maybe they're all strange, I don't know, and they're probably watching this now, have said if you clap an animal, it's giving them a pet. Obviously in America, it means different. You've got different names for things. Whoa, Dakota, how was your time away?
Orlando was lovely. Yeah, I know you saw my reaction videos to that
Just
ordeal.
know the
But
gators. Covered in bite marks, yes.
No. I was really
Come
needing a
up
new
from
belt.
behind. You have to come up from behind the gator, you know that. It doesn't bite you.
Jace says, "Are we doing the clap?" See, that's your boyfriend. That's your man. You're the one claiming him.
Stop it.
I question your mental sanity when I first heard the news, genuinely. But he's the one that's obsessed with having sex with animals.
Look, in America, clapping means obviously something else, but in the UK, clapping means petting.
It could mean a number of things.
It
Petting
could mean
was
a number
not
of
on the
things.
list.
Honestly, you know. But we had the Mike the Naked Bigfoot tribute. Did you watch that?
I caught a little bit of that. Yeah.
Yeah,
That was good. That was good.
That was a really, really good show. And Jenny, you done well done in asking really good questions on that show.
Yes. Jenny actually knows what she's doing.
Yes, I know. But yeah, it was a good show. But what I did do with that show is I kept it unmonetized. I didn't monetize it, and I tell Pete that Pete's probably watching this now. I didn't want to put adverts on something that was dedicated to somebody.
Yeah. No, that's understandable.
It's not as if I'm making money off it anyway. You're lucky if you make 20 pence on it. I mean, it's no.
Yeah, but if we get in trouble with YouTube again, we're gonna have to redirect everybody to our Patreon.
I know
that wants to be to support us.
But become a member's only 99 cents.
But it's not going to mean much if YouTube goes to take it away.
I know.
And they keep the fucking money. Greedy bastards. Yeah.
Did you get how much YouTube before I was monetized, right? On Go Squad Scotland, how much monetization do you think YouTube made off me?
Oh, I don't know, a couple pennies.
£360.
Ooh.
Yeah. And I've only made 60 of that. I'll not even go to that point yet. I'm like £2 off or something, making £60 on it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I think with Paul the Bonkers, we're barely up to $10.
Yeah, it doesn't. You don't make money, guys. You make money through PayPals and stuff like that. But to be purely honest with you, I'm not like other YouTubers out there where I constantly spam the chat with my PayPal link and beg for money. I don't see that. I don't see the point of that.
PayPal is just unreliable as a resource in the first place. So
I use it to buy all my stuff off of eBay. I will admit it's handy for buying stuff off of eBay, like the stuff that I buy. I mean, I bought these the other day. No, I had to buy a new camera battery, and it's a bat. They're Velcro. They're Velcro.
Aye.
And I bought them off of eBay, and £2 it was, and it took about 5 days to get to me. But yeah, I mean,
what do you expect?
So the subject tonight, the jibby jabby.
I figured after we had that incident, we need to go on a fucking rant when it comes to social media censorship, because with everything going on in the world, it's getting a little ridiculous.
Oh, I know. Come on. You can't say anything nowadays. You can't say anything.
I know.
Look, I got a strike on my TikTok.
What did you do on your TikTok or should we even be airing it on this show?
As everybody knows, I've got a UFO channel there on TikTok, but I don't post any more videos. I've got something like 4,000 something subscribers. What I've noticed is last week I got a grand total of 400 new subscribers, but it went down too. It never went up. But I can see all the people that's subscribed to me. So it's as if they're taking them off. I'm like shadow banned. There was a thing about, shall we name the place? Palestine.
Oh, yeah.
And there was people in London, and the Jewish community had put loads of pictures up of their family that's missing. It's been kidnapped.
Mm-hmm.
And we had some, what do you call it, other ones there, not of a Christian descent, if you know what I'm saying. And they were ripping them down and burning them in front of the police officers. right? In the video, and I put, that's disgraceful. Why does the police not do anything? And I get a strike for that.
Mm-hmm.
Just for that.
You know, speaking of which, that also reminds me, this is something I've been meaning to try to look into, but have you seen the reports of Israel allegedly trying to buy out social media influencers to trash Palestine?
What's that? You broke up there.
Have you heard about social media influencers getting business emails claiming to be from
Yes.
Israel,
Yeah, I heard that.
saying that they need to go, if they go live slamming
I heard
Palestinians,
that.
they would get
I
paid?
heard that. Yeah, 5,000. Some of them have been offered 5,000.
5,000. There was one that was 800. Everyone got different amounts. I haven't had a chance to really sit down and look into it. I wanted to see the legitimacy because they all would block out the email that it was sent from when they go screenshots. But I'm sorry. The situation when it comes to Hamas and Israel, it's a no-win situation. Innocents are blood's being shed on
And
all
this is on both
sides.
sides.
But
Yeah.
it's awful fucking funny that when we mention anything that's not white, that it gets flagged.
I know. So if you were saying, oh yes, a white guy was getting beaten to death in the middle of London, that would be all right.
There would
I
be
mean, but
no
if you to
press
say if
coverage.
it had been the other way, if it had been run the other way around about Jesus and all that's holy, there'd be everything. There'd be
Yeah.
SWAT teams out of helicopters getting paratrooped down and everything.
I mean, it's a fucked up situation. No innocent blood should be shed over this type of stuff. Israel, there's no. If you actually look at the situation, Israel was trying to strengthen all the ties in the Middle East. It was trying to push for peace until something happened.
Yeah.
If you actually trace back, the United States is funding both sides of this conflict.
I'm going to say this, right? See Hamas, right? See Hamas. You have no idea how bad Hamas is, right? Even Al Qaeda are afraid of them.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's saying something. That's the people that obviously blew up the Twin Towers, right? Well, supposedly blew up the Twin Towers. If you want to do that line in that subject, we'll do that a story for another time, as Mike would say. But this is the thing about them, right? They're evil, right? Now you've got all these different communities out there. Let's take the trans community. The trans, you know what I'm talking about, the trans community, the pride flag, and they're walking into women's bathrooms and stuff like that, are now saying they support Hamas and they support Gaza.
I know.
Right?
Here's the thing. Do these trans people realize what Hamas does to trans people?
You have no idea, right? And I'm actually a Muslim that tells us this, right? I know somebody and he told me this, right? And he says, do you have any idea what they would do to a transvestite in their country? I'm not even going to go into it, but it would be bad. And then they would chuck you off the top of a building. Right? And this is the mad. Hamas is bad. And even Saudi Arabia is coming in to say, listen, Hamas is bad. They are needing to call like a peace process. They are needing to do like a peace process over there now. And maybe stop bombing the shit out of everybody, right? But the thing is, this is the problem. See if they stop this attack, Hamas will regroup, rebuild, and then 5 or 6 years down the line do the same again. This is the problem. So what do you do? Wipe them out. But it's going to take an act of God basically to wipe them out because there's loads of them. A lot of people don't realize this, but they're all underground. They're all underground. Remember and check out our TV network, guys, because I've got a feeling this video might get tamed in tonight.
I know. That's why we have an Indiegogo campaign to try to fund our own streaming platform.
Yeah.
To show the cases show as well as others. And the plan is to not allow this type of censorship, to allow discussions to be had.
What's that there? I'm just going to read some of the chat. Let them move over and then let's say the support they have for much longer. That's right. That's Anne. Then we've got Emerald Dials there. when someone posts pictures and asks for opinions, should we give it or not? See, that's the
Depends
thing.
on what the picture is.
Aye.
I have a feeling I know what that question's about. But
right when you go, what's that about? Try and go round about it safely.
Something we went to discuss. Obviously, if you go to post pictures online asking for opinions, you need to be ready for all sides of potential arguments.
Yeah.
There's going to be idiots that try to say it's faked. There's
Oh,
going
God.
to, or the person that posted the photo could not even be thinking straight for whatever reason. It could not anything malicious. It could just be that they're a little sleep deprived. Maybe, it is that time of year. People are getting the cold. And it happens, and they're not able to think straight and think that if it's like a ghosty picture, it's something that
Look, if you
completely normal.
if you to look at a picture with hundreds of dots, right? That Elon Musk say he was doing that. He's always putting out kind of pictures. And his AI was asked. I don't know if he's trying to see how intelligent folk are. And he was asked, "What do you see in the picture?" And I was see like a number 531 or something like that, right? But see if you stare at a picture with millions of dots, or like just say a picture with hundreds of bushes and stuff like that. If you stare at that for say, I don't know, an hour, 2 hours, right? You're going to see things. You know what I mean? You can see like Ferraris and ships and helicopters and you name it. If your mind, what your mind thinking about, you can make it up.
It's a very well-known phenomenon that the mind tries to seek out patterns. It's believed to be a survival mechanism. We try to seek out patterns of potential danger so we can try to avoid it.
There's a message here. Emerald Isles Paranormal Research. Be professional, accept criticism. None is an expert in the field, and as it was called. Exactly. That
was exactly what I thought it was. But unfortunately, we have this sort of discussion. We run into it all the time, and there's been several times where we've all been dragged into this fucking bitching of these click mentalities. That is the most idiotic approach, and anybody who believes that needs to be, they're my friend, so I believe you. You're accomplishing nothing. You're a childish moron. We're trying to figure out what's going on and actually get a discussion to maybe do something better.
It's as if, right, if you see something, somebody comments and you go, that's your opinion, and leave it at that.
Mm-hmm.
And leave it at that. And that's that. Don't mention it again. But there you go. It's the same thing like what's happening in Gaza now. Yeah, I mean, folk are putting up pictures. Folk are putting up pictures. A bombed hospital, but is it a bombed hospital? See, this is the thing. I've seen so much fakery. Have you seen the AI burning cars? And people have proved that it is.
Yeah, I've seen the video that you're talking about. It wasn't necessarily an AI. It was a video game generator, Unreal. The program's called Unreal Engine. Anybody can get their hands on it. It's completely free to use. And the latest models, it's so photorealistic that it makes you quite. In fact, they ran the latest Matrix through that, and it was practically indistinguishable from reality.
Somebody in TikTok the other day, right? TikTok, the best propaganda network that there is out there, right? I posted a picture of this street with like dead people lying in the road. And there was burning cars. And look what's happening in Palestine. The poor people have been killed by the Israelis. But see if you Google where that street is, like some people have done, it's in the Israeli city. It's the Israeli side.
That's the thing when it comes to these conflicts. Hamas is purposely situating themselves to where innocents will be caught in the crossfire. This is a no-win situation.
No, it's not. It's just going to get worse. It's going to get worse, and it's going to get worse. And I'll tell you something, there will be British troops and there will be American troops on the ground. It's going to happen.
That's the thing. What a lot of people don't realize is that just about every other country in the world, Russia, I mean, hell, if I'm not mistaken, even China's trying to step up and say, this shit needs to stop.
Yeah.
People are trying to stop this. But
Yeah.
the United States, wanting to push its dollar just a little bit further, is propagating it. It's the funding at all sides of it. That's the thing people need to realize. The Israelis, Hamas, they're all getting fucking played.
Everybody's getting played. Look, there's been bloody weapons for North Korea found inside Gaza.
Mm-hmm.
How do you think you're getting them there, guys? To be honestly, seriously, how do you? I'll tell you exactly how they're getting there. There's an American organization, they're called the CIA, right? Now the CIA are friends with arms dealers, right? So they give them money, right? And then they go to like North Korea and they buy weapons for North Korea with that money. And then they take it to maybe like an arms dealer in, like, say, maybe, I don't know, Iran, and sell it to the Iranians, right? For a wee bit more, right? And then the Iranians take it to the border with Iran or whatever to them for where the terrorists all meet up, right? And they say, look, we'll give you that. And they say, look what we've got for you. Here's some rockets and some machine guns.
No.
It's America.
Hamas is officially an Iranian-run organization. It's essentially an army of mercenaries.
It's the other
ran
ones
by
that you
Iran.
You don't want the other ones getting involved. Is it Hezbollah?
Mm-hmm.
If they get involved, it will be major. You think the war in Europe, the news bad? If Hezbollah get involved, say tomorrow or tonight, it'll be really bad. Because basically, they've risen is it the black flag of jihad that's been risen?
Mm-hmm.
That means every Muslim that looks up to that flag will probably attack.
Mm-hmm.
Think about it on a grand scale. See, See, tomorrow in the UK, it's Remembrance Day for the fallen soldiers and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a 1 million man march planned for London on that day.
Really?
Aye, but you know who's marching? It's all folk protesting Gaza. It's no the Jewish community, it's the other ones. And they're going to be marching to the cenotaph. That came with the soldiers, came with the poppies are put and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Now, bear this in mind, these people have been already caught burning poppies and say death to the UK and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
I give him his due, the Prime Minister, he's needing to put troops in the street. He needs to put troops in the street to stop this. If put out, you better not do it. Right, that's not going to stop it. That's not going to stop it. But it's getting bad. I bet you something happens. I bet you this causes something. And I hope it doesn't. And I hope everybody that's watching this don't do it. Don't stay at home. Just stay at home.
It's understandable to get emotional when we see images of conflict. That's why a lot of the children, the kids, that were in their 20s at the music festival when Hamas first attacked, their bodies are being paraded. And Hamas soldiers are literally getting the phones off of these dead kids, calling up the families in order to push the narrative that much further.
Yeah.
This is not a fight for righteousness. This is terrorism to the highest degree.
See, this is what I kind of get, though. This is what I kind of get, right? Obviously, the UK, America, France, and Canada and all that are with Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
They're helping Israel because they're sending their ships and their troops and their weapons, right, to protect Israel, right?
Mm-hmm.
So why does the UK attack people that support Israel in their own country?
That's a very good question. Why is it that social media platforms are attacking anybody that speaks in favor of Palestinians, of the innocent kids that are getting caught in the crossfire?
Yeah.
The kids don't. Yes, they utilize child soldiers over there, but again, it's bloodshed on all sides.
I'm getting to the point here, right, where it's in London there was folk with driving trucks run about with billboards, there, big electronic billboards, and it was people that were missing in Israel. It was Israelis that were kidnapped, and they were just trying to put awareness, and the police stopped them and arrested them and said, "You can't do this." And they're putting up posters of missing people. And then you've got the other ones that are the Christian going up. I'm not saying who they are. I'm not what to say anything. Going up to it. They're ripping them down, burning them in front of police, and they're not doing nothing. I don't understand that. I don't. If the Prime Minister and the UK government stand with Israel, why are they not doing anything to protect these people when they're out there? Because I think all these people that are the Palestinians that went to do the march and stuff like that should also have the right, because it's freedom of speech. But also the Jewish community should have the right to freedom of speech to do exactly the same. But it's no. And what you have to remember is they're white. I think this is where it's going here, you see. White people don't have freedom of speech, but the other way around about.
But it also goes to, in theory, you could technically trace this back to the 1940s, where they say that the Nazis may have lost the war, but they won the globe overall.
Goes to dad.
Every single political movement has been infiltrated in order to incite violence within the population.
There was trillions and trillions of dollars at the end of the war missing in Germany. Gold, mostly. A lot of it went to Argentina, we know that, right? And a lot of the high-up Nazis went to Argentina. And a lot of the families, even supposedly Adolf Hitler made it to Argentina. And that's an actual fact that you can actually see that hunting Hitler, they were kind of close to it. But there's actually people out there that have did research on this, and he did make it. See, they'll say, but we've got Hitler's skull. But here's an interesting fact about Hitler's skull. When the Russians gave it back, which was, I think it was in the early 80s or 90s, to get examined, they found that there was a certain type of dirt on his bones. That dirt's not found in Germany. It's found in Argentina. I think he made it to Argentina. I think they've infiltrated. I think every government body, the United States government's infiltrated. And I think President Kennedy, I think he came close to finding this out. Makes you wonder what happened. Yeah, it makes you wonder what happened to him.
Kennedy was trying to shut down the CIA. First off. And going back to Hitler, here's the thing. If we allegedly had his body from that bunker, why would the US, the UK, the Russians, even German officials, several European nations spend billions upon billions of dollars trying to find him? And there's actually declassified CIA documents that point out that, there was somebody who looked an awful lot like Hitler.
There's witnesses
who lived out his old age in Argentina.
There's witnesses that have signed affidavits saying that it was him, and they were priests, because the Catholic Church helped him escape.
Yeah.
Because what happened was he escaped into Spain, and that was that Franco, whatever his name was, his pal. That was a neutral country during the war. And that Franco protected him for a wee while until he could get into a U-boat and sail across the sea to Argentina. I'm telling you, it's everything.
Officials managed to make it to Argentina. And as far as infiltration, the Nazis didn't have to do much. If they had information that the Allies wanted, they were brought in willingly through Project Paperclip and similar programs. We literally invited them in.
Did you see that in Canada? I'll tell you something new. If there's empty for Canada in here, I just don't know. Is it Justin Trudeau? Mr. Trudeau. You can't know what I'm talking about. Right.
Trudeau.
Did you see the speech? And I think it was about a month ago in their parliament. Did you see that?
I saw
and
that.
They said, we would like to welcome a war hero into the room to speak. And the guy came in and done a wee speech. There was like about 110 or something like that. Done a wee speech. Ooh, they're all saluting him and all that. What was he, Dakota? The one that did the wee...
He was a Nazi. He was former SS.
Yeah. Yep. Look, the Nazis are everywhere. They might not have the Nazi flag. They might not march about in their black uniforms and all that kind of stuff with their skull and crossbones, but they're everywhere. And they're running this world. They never lost the war. It was a tactical retreat they did when they said Hitler died. They knew they were screwed. As soon as America got involved, they knew they were screwed. That day that America got involved, it was only a matter of time. The generals knew they were screwed. So they had to. They had 3 years after the Americans got involved to plan something. So that's why they started building in Argentina and stuff like that. They couldn't win.
When the Japanese invaded Pearl Harbor, they legitimately thought it was going to take months at least for the U.S. to deploy the seas. And they honestly thought the war was going to be over by the time the U.S. was going to be ready. Germans, and there was actually a Japanese general who said that he was likely going to be killed on his ship. He was wrong. The Americans shot him down out of the sky. But he knew that he was going to end up dead at the hands of the Americans once they realized the Americans were getting involved.
Yeah. It's the same with Mussolini. His troops were inexperienced. They didn't have weapons like the Germans had. They had loads of troops, so I'll give them that, and with guns and stuff like that. But that was it. That was it. Against the British, see, that's the thing. I had a conversation one night. It was actually with my uncle, actually. It was a conversation about the war. This is years ago. I had this conversation. I said to him, because he was in the army, actually, he was in the military. He was a colonel, actually. And I says to him, I says, do you think, because he was a right war historian, I says, do you think the Germans could have won? And he went, nope. He says, the Germans lost as soon as they invaded, as soon as they attacked Britain. He says, we're an island, we were protected, right? He says, we had the mightiest navy in the world, even more mighty than the Americans, right? Their navy was nothing, couldn't even match it. The U-boats were a menace, aye. The U-boats were a menace. He says it was only a matter of time. If the Americans hadn't got involved, and this is an actual fact, if the Americans hadn't got involved, the war would have probably lasted 1947, 1948, but then they would have lost. The Russians were beating them. The Russians were beating them. The Russians were giving us information. We were giving the Russians weapons and tanks and planes. We were all working together. The Germans were fucked. Basically, sorry about the language, but they were fucked. Even if the Americans didn't invade, the Americans in the war, I hastened on, brought it to an end quicker. And then obviously Americans built the nuclear bombs. You know what I mean? And that ended the war for you. Japan.
Back when the United States actually was intimidating.
Now it's sad to say that. I mean, did you see that? And this is what you call ridiculousness. You've got the Abrams tank, one of the most feared American battle tanks, right? They're replacing it with an electric tank. Now, the Abrams tank with a full tank can get about 200, 300 kilometers on a full tank, right? But the new battle-ready, self-aware electric tank gets, 50 kilometers before it needs a 12-hour charge?
Now, granted, it is understandable that alternative fuel sources are going to be needed, but
he did carry a generator about the year.
Oh yeah, it'd be like that one guy who was road tripping across the U.S. in his Tesla, and he had a gas-powered generator sticking out of his back window.
Aye.
To make the trip.
Aye. It's ridiculous. It's like I seen a video the other day. The guy was in Australia, and he was out in the outback, and there was a charging station for electric cars. But behind the charging station, there was a huge big diesel generator going just generating with a big pipe with black reek coming out of it. I was like, for Christ's sake.
Right.
Electric cars are not the future. Maybe they are. Maybe 80 years from now, they might be, right? The batteries are shit, right? maybe if the battery's got like 700 or 800 miles to charge, I can see the point of having an electric car. But let's look at the fact that the fires that there's been, they're bursting into flames. I just don't know why they're pushing this, because it's climate change to it. You would think that they wouldn't want wars because of climate change, wouldn't you? Because that's burning stuff, innit? It's setting fire to things. Of course, climate change really, if you agree with it or no, the Earth's been different some places. Can't I mean? Antarctica used to be a fucking tropical climate. I mean, and you're going to get storms, and they'll be like, "Oh, but it's to be heavy snow." Somebody says to me the other day, "It's to be heavy snow in Scotland." It's Scotland. It gets rain and it gets snow.
I know. When I was in Scotland, we had the entire trip, except for like the last 2 days of the trip, we had nothing but sunshine, and all the locals were like, "What is
you know
going
that
on?"
they started putting on TV warnings, and it's called Red Alert. There's going to be a storm. And my Alexa device does it now. It tells you, warning, warning. It'll go, there's going to be a weather event. And I went outside, and it wasn't even windy, and it was a drop of rain coming out the sky. And I was like, wow, that was a tornado and a half. But you know, the UK set up an emergency alert system for weather events, right? It never went off when all the weather events down south and all the flooding in Scotland and all that. Not once did it go off. You all know what that's for, didn't you? It's in case we go to war with Russia. Or it was just a money opportunity for the Prime Minister because it was some relation that he has that actually paid for it.
But that's another thing you can actually look into when it comes to the pandemic, all of these wars. Look at the politicians' net worth before and after these events transpired.
Jesus Christ. My Prime Minister, the new, his wife's a billionaire.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Joe Biden. You know, he's probably wondering about the Oval Office to now and his underpants, you know. But look at his family, they're all multi-millionaires.
Yeah.
Because they're all taking backhanders.
Yeah. They're also advised to, you know, they had all these major corporations going, hey, nudge, nudge, nudge. This is about to happen. Buy this stock.
Nah.
Technically, they're not supposed to be doing that.
He's done that a few times. He's been heard saying that a few times. I actually watched your president the other day there, and he actually held the sentence together for a full 10 seconds. And I was impressed. Then he went off and started saying it was...
Yeah, it's like Trump said in one of his speeches, something's going on with that president, with Biden. I mean,
look at copies
he can't even find himself off of a stage, you know. But Trump goes, so I never seen this stupid stage, but I know if I go to my left, there's going to be stairs. If I go to my right, there's going to be stairs. And Biden's just like,
I know. Hopefully there'll be a better president. Is it next year, the election? Hopefully there'll be a better president that can... I'm saying Donald Trump, but come on, he's got more bloody lawsuits and...
The indictments.
I don't know if he would make a
the
good
indictments were
president
purposely. The indictments were done purposely to inhibit his ability to run. That's the thing. But he still has his eye on taking the Republican seat for Speaker of House, which would put him as the third most powerful person in the world. The line that's going right now, it's going to be Kennedy that goes in.
I think he'd make a good president. He would make.
It would be very damn interesting to see what happens.
Is Trump as Speaker as the House, and is it Speaker of the House, Trump, or was it the court thing? And would you call it him as the president? I think they could change the United States, and it needs to be changed. It really does. It really does, because if they don't do something soon, I don't know. Everybody's got to be at everybody's throat.
Without a doubt. I mean, let's face it, we're all ready.
It'll come to nuclear war. It'll no come to nuclear war. I cannot no come to nuclear war because I cannot no be allowed to happen. But there will be wars. There'll be like wars like World War II wars. There'll be like folk invading countries left, right, and centre. There'll be mass populations moving. There'll be banks collapsing.
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing, though. several intelligence experts say that the Third World War would not be fought like the Second World War. Why would it?
Proxy.
Weapons have evolved, people have evolved.
Yeah.
Where the Third World War would be fought by proxy. What does that mean? It means countries funding conflicts in other parts of the world. Oh, wait! It's happened. But no one wants to officially say that it's World War III because that would mean that.
Look, the weapons nowadays, you could be 5,000 miles away with a wee gear stick where playing ropes bombs and somebody.
Haven't you seen that they have officially put out that they have weapons that can target genetic groups?
Yes.
Specifically, they can isolate certain genetic groups and only take out people with those markers.
I actually watched something about this, and I need to watch what I'm saying. I watched a thing about this, and it was Israel, and it was an Israeli professor that works for the weapons industry. He's an well, I'm not even going to mention his name because I will get him into trouble on him. But anyway, he was talking about how they've developed weapons, and it's like a missile, just looks like a normal missile that can be dispersed. It explodes out of a town or whatever, and it will only kill certain ethnicities.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, say for instance, hypothetically here, you had an island somewhere, right, and that island had, say, 100 white people on it and 100 Arab people in it, right, or black people in it, right, a mixture, right, but that weapon was designed to kill only the Arab people.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that would die was the Arab people.
Which,
that's
when
bad.
I first heard this, there's one thing, legitimate curiosity that came to my mind. What would happen with mixed race people if these weapons were to get deployed?
See that? I actually thought that. I thought about that.
What would happen to them is what I want to know. I'm very curious.
I don't know if it would maybe affect them in some way, but not kill them out. See, it wouldn't kill them. Maybe it would harm them, but it wouldn't kill them. See, this is another thing. You ever heard of the neutron bomb?
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it's possible?
Anything's possible.
Because the word on the street is that the Israelis have built a neutron bomb.
Mm-hmm.
And seemingly, people in here that don't know what a neutron bomb is, well, a neutron bomb is like, let's pick a city, Dakota. Pick a city somewhere in the world, anywhere.
New York. Why not?
New York,
they're always
right.
getting blown up.
They're always getting blown up. New York, right? So you fired a missile with a neutron bomb at New York, right? And it exploded right above New York, right? Everything would be perfect. There wouldn't even be a broken pane of glass.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everything would be fine. But every life form within, I don't know, 15 miles in either direction would be basically dead. I mean, it goes right down to like genetics, it goes right down to like viruses and bugs and everything. I mean, every life form it would kill.
Mm-hmm.
And seemingly they've got something. Because it was an ex-Israeli. I don't know what he did. I don't know if he was a prime minister. I don't know what he did. And they were interviewing him, and he says, "We have got a weapon that will kill them all, but it will not harm us." See, maybe he was either talking about the neutron bomb or he was talking about the genetic bomb.
Likely the genetics, because with the neutron bomb, the basic idea is behind it all the lethal radiation of a nuke, but without the mess.
Without the mess, exactly.
So consider the reports of all the individuals who survived Hiroshima and Nagasaki, all of the things they went through, their skin melting, their fingernails coming off. There was one poor guy who, there's one story, the one guy you see get tossed around on social media who survived Hiroshima.
Yep.
Still went into work
the next day,
because he didn't believe his boss would believe him about being bombed by a nuke, only for his workplace to be in Nagasaki. This motherfucker survived 2 nukes.
Japanese are strict about their clock-in times and stuff like that.
They are, but because of how the culture is over there, say they all run a train, the subway drivers would actually pass out notes to validate the train was late so they wouldn't get in trouble. There's people that literally die from fatigue that they get work so hard over there.
What's that? Emerald Isles is saying there. Absolutely. I would go with Kennedy. People saying it would be from another country care because it affects the world. And John, you're absolutely right, Jenny. Absolutely, John. As in Ireland, we do nothing. We have UN and yet some. However, gobshite admiral read that there.
Gobshites.
That's an old one. That's gobshites. That's a good one.
That's Ireland coming out there.
Yep. Games and other stuff. I do wonder what the fuck is upbringing they had to such a thing. Like, we all know the problems there was in Ireland, you know, and they're still having their problems and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's the same with the UK. The world's falling apart. I'm telling you, it's a ticking time bomb.
That's the thing, though. Can we really say the world is just now falling apart, or are we just becoming more awake to what's been going on this entire time?
I think in the next 5 years it'll be like Mad Max society. I really do.
I don't think it'll go that far.
You don't think so?
I don't.
Do you not think so? I heard one the other night there, and I don't know if it's true or not. I'll talk about it here. This is quite interesting. It talks about society and stuff. It was actually a guy who was ex-CIA, and he was talking. It was on YouTube. It was live. He was getting interviewed, and they were asking him about the disclosure, the alien disclosure. You'll maybe be able to fill me in this. And this is quite interesting. The guy's like, he says, is there any more got to be community? He says, no, but I've got a prediction for you. I bet you in the next 2 months, 1 month to 2 months, there will be an instant where an aircraft over the United States, like a Boeing 747 or something like that, gets shot down and it's like an unidentified object that does it. Because he was going on about how they're getting desperate to roll out this, what is it, the fake agenda, what do you call it, Project Bluebeam. Yeah. So he actually said there will be planes that will go down all over the world, and it will be blamed on little green men and little metal capsules.
That's what they're trying for, but
yeah,
when you actually watch the patterns, there's several that are starting to back up their plans because they're realizing they're not gaining as much traction as they think they would. There's a war being fought right now underneath everybody's noses. And there's several major officials that have been behind a lot of the major incidents in the last few years alone that have already been cornered and are about to be brought to justice. I mean, look what's going on with Bill Gates.
Oh, God, I know.
He's looking at some serious jail time.
But will it happen?
It's closing in.
You know, I mean, there was obviously that Dr. Stephen Greer goes on about this. He goes on about how there was an ultimatum given by the end of the year. Who gave the ultimatum? Is this the Galactic Federation? Is this gave them an ultimatum? Says basically, you better get things sorted out by the end of the year. Is this like a power play? Is this why things are happening in the Middle East now and everybody's scrambling about trying to get drip folk and all that kind of stuff because of this ultimatum?
Exactly. An ultimatum has been given. Allegedly, it's been pushed back about 6 months, is my understanding. But if the disclosure circles have been true, and a lot of the ones that we've had personal connections with have panned out to the T, we're going to get ready to start seeing other powers come into play.
Yeah.
And could that be the move? Could that be the move, though? See, we already run with this. Say that the world's already at war. We have a bunch of different things going on. And all of a sudden, we start seeing spaceships coming out and start shooting everybody.
Yeah.
That's going to be all they need in order to
And then
push this narrative that those guys are the enemy.
And then everybody that's fighting each other will go, hey, stop. Let's all work together. Iran, China, Russia,
preaching it
Britain,
since
America.
Reagan.
And they'll be like, "Ken something, the enemy of our enemy is our friends," kind of thing. So everybody will be like, right, let's all work together. Let's stop killing each other. All the terrorists will stop killing each other. Christians and Jews and folk like that will stop killing each other. And then our main focus will be on them.
I mean, look what's already happened. We're having incidents in Gaza where craft is showing
I've seen
up.
that.
And nobody knows where it came from. We have a few theories, but nobody knows where it came from, taking out the missiles. They're just making it to where the missiles are practically.
There's Jenny. I swear I have never wished so much for this fucking spaceship. Right? I'll just say it for you, fucking spaceship right now. I wish there was a spaceship, Jenny.
Say it with the fucking accent. That fucking thing. Ride that fucking spaceship in a fucking show.
Folks say I've got alien descent. I'm here for alien. I wish that Ken were a part of my spaceship. Think about it. There are all these folk that say they're aliens and all that. They go on YouTube and that. They bound to Ken with a part of their spaceship up. I bet they don't. They're like, damn, I bet they're sitting there now. I bet Elena's sitting watching this now. Well, when you watch this back, Elena, and she's sitting thinking, where did I park my spaceship? Where did that? Now, it was next to a tree. I know that. It was next to quite a big tree.
We tease with love, Elena. You know this.
I know. But honestly, would you stay? Can I ask you something, Dakota? If you had a spaceship right now, right, and it could hold, let's say, 100 people or whatever, would you stay here?
If the situation actually came down to it to where it's no choice, hell no, I get out of here.
Exactly.
And allegedly, stories of like Noah's Ark, as an example, were misinterpreted spaceships for a grand scale evacuation.
No.
Throughout history. And allegedly, those arcs have started coming back on.
Yeah. We need to find them, climb aboard, press the button.
Me too. Go. Beat me up, Scotty.
Aye.
Oh, I bet you missed that nickname, huh?
I bet you think about it, all the UFO people that we've met over the years, the people that say they're aliens and stuff like that. They're bound to have got here somehow. Think about it.
Mm-hmm.
Or did they get dropped off? Or did they park their ship somewhere? Think about
There's
it.
Several that believe that they've been dropped off. Then there's also situations of a soul transfer.
That's
where they technically didn't come here through a spaceship. But even the members of the Federation say, technically, we don't need the technology they have that can do what they do. The technology just really helps.
You know, I wish there'd a phone now. Is that intergalactic space travel? Aye. Can I get picked up, please, sometime tonight?
Unfortunately, they keep fucking bringing me back.
I know. What is up with that, by the way?
I know. It's like you have to work your job down here. Fuck Earth!
Welcome to the world. You know. So, we're at, 53? What's the subject tomorrow night?
I figure we go into a nice little debate about whether or not skepticism is actually a bad thing when it comes to the very
It's no a bad thing. It's no a bad thing.
Much like Jenny's question earlier, there's a lot of people who utilize the term skeptic as the term asshole.
Aye, there's folk out there that don't understand the meaning of that word. It's just a mystery of the fucking universe. You're going to get them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I do think when you look at stuff in that and you see nothing, either some people out there, I'll agree to this, there's mediums out there, right? Like Lisa Fry and stuff like that. They could look at them and say, there's Elvis holding his guitar, playing his harpsichord or whatever, right? But then there's folk out there. I'm just going to show that. It's just, what you call it? Jenny put, what is that Jenny put up there? It'll pop up in a minute. I've just showed it. Look, if you stare at something long enough, something will appear, right? It's like this. It's like this here, right? It's all covered in dots, right? If I had to sit in my bed's over there. If I had to sit in my bed and stare at this, all the wee dots, and I've done it. There's been times where I've sat, when I've had a right migraine and I've turned the light down because it kind of glows. It's kind of got a flash and stuff in it. And you can see all the wee dots. If you stared at that long enough, or like lay in your bed and stared at the ceiling with all the dots in the ceiling, things will appear, right? I will say this: there is pictures where there is things there, whereas other people can't see them. Where there's mediums that can see them, but us mere mortals can't see them, right? But when somebody's got an opinion about something, it's just an opinion. You know what I mean? It's just an opinion. It's like you could do in the rabbit hole of the madness in the world. You know what I mean? What's your opinion on that?
I think more skepticism needs to be applied, because there's a lot of people that just try to take everything at face value, that every person that comes forward about this type of stuff. I mean, let's face it. You and I have had discussions where we've had issues believing each other's stories.
Oh, Christ, aye.
I
believe you.
Let's face it. Let's face it. There's a lot of things that we talk about that would be very hard to discern, because but technically, you and I had never met in person. I mean, there may have been one instance where we crossed each other in the wind, but that's about it. There's a bunch of shit that you do throughout your day that I don't see, and vice versa. I'm not physically there, so I can't prove it. And as much as I like to joke about having a GoPro strapped to my forehead to try to tape some of the stuff, because they always seem to happen when I don't have my good cameras on me.
Get it?
Less cameras only can catch so much.
Oh, well, look at that time I seen that UFO when I was walking out of the hills, and I could see it, but it didn't show up my phone. Remember the video? And it was actually that Lewis one that ran it through computer software, and because he changed all the contrast and all that, you could actually see it. But you couldn't see it when you put it back to not. You couldn't put it back when it was as if it was invisible to technology. I'm not saying that there was nothing there in pictures that folks say about the paranormal, but you've got to remember, it's good to have an opinion, right? If somebody goes, "Oh, I don't see nothing," it's pareidolia or whatever it's called, because I can't pronounce it right. Somebody should go, "Oh, it's your opinion," and leave it at that.
Exactly.
But no, you get folk that, "Oh, but I can see Elvis. He's standing there. He's got a can of cola in one hand. He's got a burger in the other."
But first off, what the hell is Elvis doing in Idaho?
I know. It could be done. But look, you're going to get it. But I think it's got to be a skeptic that, look, see, in Jenny's line of work and her paranormal stuff, obviously you're paranormal, I'm paranormal too. But Jenny's obviously with ghost hunting stuff, which she does, and that, it's good to be skeptic. Because if you go to a location and it's known to be haunted by a man called, I'll just make a name up, Pete, right? Pete, if you're watching, the castle's haunted by somebody called Pete, right? You go into that castle and you're thinking about Pete, the ghost, right? So as you get your EVP recorder out and you start playing your EVP recorder and it goes, and they'll go, "Oh, wait a minute, I can hear Pete," because you want to hear Pete. Because you want to hear Pete, because you ken that place has got a ghost called Pete, right? That's why when you go to locations, you're better not looking up the history until you come home. So you don't know anything about it. Aye. So you don't know anything about the location, because then if you hear Pete, right, and then you go and rake about through the old records and you find, oh, Pete the gardener was run over by a tractor in the 1926 or something like that. You know what I mean? There you go, it's Pete. Whereas folk will research a location, and so as they know everything, right? Then they'll go to that location and, oh, I get somebody there called Mary, and by sheer chance I went round the corner and there's a gravestone that says Mary.
I know, it would be a lot like those news segments. You can find the videos online where it's a news anchors brought in a bunch of alleged psychics, right?
Oh,
And
I've met them.
there was this guy who was walking through the hall. So it's like, am I talking to a guy named William or Bill? He's looking around like he's trying to figure out where he's hearing something. Yet literally, he is standing in front of a portrait with the name William printed on the front in one of those little gold plate frames.
Yeah.
Actually, Mad Lulu makes a very valid point.
I was ready. I was quicker than you. So I'm bringing it up. See, but it's look. I've met folk in the past that are 100% fake, right? And I didn't know it at the time, but I'm not going to mention any names. Yeah, they're long gone. I've not spoke to them for years. But I was with them one day, and they were walking about the graveyard, and they were like, "Oh," and the other person was filming them, but they were filming in such a way that all they could see was like their top half while they were walking through the graveyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, "Oh yes, I can feel that I'm coming close to a grave where a man was decapitated and all that." I'm just making that up because I'm not going through the same story, so the person doesn't see it and doesn't think it's them or something. But he didn't realise I was standing behind him. And he was walking along like this with his horn. Yes, and there was a man and he was decapitated.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I've been with folk like that, right? And I thought to myself, what a dick, right? There's people out there, there's folk out there that fake it. There's loads of folk out there that fake it. There's loads of investigators out there, 99. There's a lot of investigators out there that fake stuff just so as they can get views. Look at Ghost Adventures.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I mean, like, there's proper investigators. Like, look, Jenny, for instance, Jenny was actually on TV, guys, when Spooked Island, you know, this famous castle, was it Leap Castle? And I mean, there's investigators out there that do a good job. And because they don't have like demons jumping out of cupboards and things fleeing about them, they don't get all the views. But if you fake, if you say, "Oh my God, I'm getting possessed with Satan," and there's fake blood squirting out their nose and all that, you get millions of views.
Mm-hmm. Then there's these people that want to fan. I mean, earlier today, I wish I had the photo, but it was this clip from off of TikTok. So from a podcast like this, somebody sent in a photo from a boxing match, right? Now, no, wouldn't think anything of it, but they're behind one of the boxers. What looks like this 12-year-old girl. And from looks of her, she's looking kind of creepy. She looks kind of malnourished. Her skin's looking gray. And if you look carefully on the girl's arms, it looks like she has scars from a burn. Apparently, the story behind this location, I haven't had a chance to really look into it, but the story behind this location was that at this venue where this boxing match was taking place used to be a children's home that burnt down. And they're saying, oh, this may be an entity that's mimicking the child. Honestly, my impression, it was a very good catch. If you didn't pay attention to like the bottom half of the girl, it looked like a girl standing in the ring. This girl looked like she'd been through hell, and she looked like she was barely coming out of bed when this fire took place. If she didn't make it.
I'm just going to. There's a message there for me. Somebody to break down. What's that? I can't pronounce your name. Amalu. What is that? Can I pronounce
That's
that?
that Lulu that Jenny goes around with, apparently.
That picture there with the person embracing it. You send that to Dakota, actually, because Dakota's really good with the software and stuff. With that image, if you want, send the image to me, and then I'll send it to Dakota, and I'll get him to break it down. Because Dakota's really good with software and stuff. Like, I can do it too, but Dakota's better.
I've tried teaching him my tricks, but he's like, it's an old dog's new trick scenario.
I'm good at you making thumbnails for YouTube. But anyway, I will say this: I've been to places where people have went, "Oh, this graveyard's demonic. It's evil. There's the spirits there hate you. Oh, you'll get attacked." And I've went there, done an investigation in there, and nothing has happened. I mean, nothing has happened. And I've been there a few times, and it feels really welcoming, really nice. But the people that were there, "Oh no, There was a big hand coming out and chased after me. No, what they're doing is they're making that up. You know. Oh, it's Mad Lulu. I didn't ken
I
that.
just told you.
I'm getting old. My eyes are old. You know, just that'll be fine. Right.
I gotta find
Send it to me, and I'll send it
co-host.
to Dakota if you want. I'll tell you what, I'll send it to my pal. I don't know if he still does the imaging now, but I can send it to him and see if he does it. He maybe take it up. He stays in Spain now, but he'll probably like it. You know.
Well, I'm sure
Look,
Lewis would like to take a peek.
honestly, you know, please everybody consider becoming a member of the channel, because I don't know how much longer we'll be monetized after the subjects we talked about tonight. What else? Visit our Patreon if you would like to visit. It's only 99 pence, and it's saying something there to it.
Patreon doesn't let us go that low, unfortunately.
Does it know? Is it $2 or something?
We do have a. I'm actually just pulling it up right now, and it's taking forever. We have a $1 a month membership. Yeah. We also have a $10 a month one that gets you free books.
Does that get you free books? How many books is there?
Well, we have at least. Let me take a look. Patreon just included a shop that you can put in digital downloads to where people. It's like we have 9 books available right now, but with the $10 a month membership, you get access to all of our newest books before they're even out to the public. So, or if you don't want to pay for that, the lowest price I was able to set it on Patreon for each book is $3.
So instead of paying $3 per each book, that's $10, and you're getting every book every month for free.
Yeah,
for life. Aye. The 79p UK is that's it.
About.
So you could become a membership on the channel for 79 pence a month. I mean, honestly, was that Drumo, or you could just watch it for free on YouTube.
Oh yeah. Well, the same videos that we post here on YouTube go through our Patreon. They also get backed up on Rumble just in case for some reason they got taken down.
Good to remember, my brother Drew, everybody in the chat. That's my brother, by the way. He's the most tightest person in the existence of mankind.
That's what I'm
Drew's
told.
that tight, he bent down for a penny one day and it hit him in the back of the head. Do you don't get it?
I got it.
You know. And Drew, he sits there at night and he cuts his coppers. He's like, pretty penny or two. Yeah. You can get me with that. You can take all my money off me in poker on Monday night or something. Play kiddo in poker. Yeah.
Okay. What are you doing your time, man?
As long as it's no, but you're up to clapping alligators. Says the man drinking the Icelandic iron. It's no, it's Lucas
Icelandic. What?
It's if the Lucas Corporation is watching this, please contact Dakota at Bald and Bonkers for sponsorship.
Of course.
$2 million a month should suffice.
Why not?
What's that? Did the penny hit you on the back of the head? He dropped a penny, he bent down, and it was that quick, it hit him in the back of the head. Oh my God. I think we need to end the show now. That's that.
Yeah,
ladies and gentlemen, we will see you tomorrow. Have a fantastic night. Have a fantastic Saturday night. If the aliens come and beam me up, well, we'll see you some other time. And I'm away to stare at my wanners to see if I can see Elvis on the guitar.
Yeah, we better get out of here. Much love, ladies and gentlemen. We'll say this: be on the lookout for on our social media pages, because I did just record a brand new interview for X Zone Radio.
Yes,
which should be out within the next week, if I remember correctly. But he's changed the system, his little setup since the last time I've been on. So much love. See y'all tomorrow. And being that tomorrow is Veterans Day, or Remembrance Day, as it's known in the rest of the world, to the members of the armed forces, thank you for your service.
Yes,
you guys
indeed.
honestly, we wish we could put something better together for you because you guys honestly get screwed by the very same countries you swore to protect.
Exactly. But hopefully everything will go well tomorrow. Everybody, have a fantastic night, and we will see you soon.
Unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today, ladies and gentlemen. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe anywhere you see Bald and Bonkers for even more insanity. Be sure to spread the love to the Bald and Bonkers boys' other endeavors. And a special thank you to our audience, guests, and everyone else who helps make this crazy ride happen. Amazing things are ahead. Learn more by visiting www.baldandbonkers.net. See you next time. Much love, and take care.
Are you still live?
I
No?
think we're still on. What the hell?